Working as a delivery rider or private hire car driver may not be as attractive as first thought, particularly in the long run. A new study has found that working in these professions, while convenient and accessible, has far-reaching implications for health, safety and retirement adequacy. The Institute of Policy Studies surveyed nearly 1,000 platform drivers and held 75 in-depth interviews for this. And joining us is Dr. Mathew Mathews, who led the study. Dr. Mathews, straightforward income and flexibility in hours often considered good points of a platform work, but there are downsides.
Well, as you mentioned, income, flexibility, also autonomy, the ability to have control and be your own boss. These are features that people say attract them to platform work. But if you dig deeper, for instance, in the notion of flexibility, this can be problematic, especially in the context if you want to earn a decent salary with platform work. Platform workers technically can work at any time, but the reality is that they aren't out during those peak hours, and in our assessment, for quite a good number of hours a day, they won't get the kind of wages they hope to get. So there may be some form of flexibility, but you have to follow the logic of the app, and you have to take orders, pick up passengers, be very disciplined about this if you're going to do well. So that part, and then of course there's this grind. This grind has an effect for a lot of drivers who mentioned in the survey and in our interviews that they have quite a few health issues that have come as a result of the job they're in. And, the idea that you can't take breaks, and then of course then this idea about finances, particularly savings. In general, quite a few platform workers, though the fact that they've got decent salaries, but because there's no mandatory CPF contribution, and CPF contribution is so much part of Singapore's model of social security, helps home ownership, helps people think about retirement adequacy. But if you don't have those kind of savings, and most don't have because there are many immediate needs that they have to deal with in their family, so without that contribution, they don't have that kind of retirement adequacy or, the help that they need for housing. And so this can be quite a bit of downside. So there are other things. Just general anxiety of the changes that happen in platform work. It's a very, very new part of the economy. Platforms can be very competitive. They keep changing structures, incentives, new regulations. And of course, the conditions of the economy, they can lead to changes, rapid volatility in prices. And platform workers aren't the most protected. And so this can be quite a bit of a problem.
Dr. Mathews, lower income individuals might become entrenched in platform work as well. Your study shows this, and it might even trap them in this perpetual state of financial uncertainty, which might be perceived as a vicious cycle. Can you explain that for us?
Well, we noticed quite a few lower-income individuals had taken on platform work, and if you visit, and our team visited quite a bit of rental blocks, and we see quite a few houses with lots of delivery bags stacked outside. So for some of them, they've built their life around the platform economy. Everybody in the family is part of it. The social network is built around those who do platform work. Their aspirations revolve around, getting a bigger bike or a better motorbike. All this, of course, in the longer term, is not too good, especially if you think about upward mobility. So for one, if you have a career, if you're a low-income person and it doesn't have CPF contributions, for instance, it makes it difficult for them to go beyond rental to get houses which they can buy. So, essentially you end up staying in that rental type of setting. Then, of course, there's a chance of easily falling back again in poverty, especially if you get into an injury, an accident, maybe you've flouted some rule in the platform and you're debarred from it. Immediately you don't have the ability to be, your livelihood is threatened, and you don't have the kind of skills to be able to navigate to the next. And also, just think about the loss of social networks. If you work in an employment kind of situation, very often there are people around you with different backgrounds, so you might be able to tap on some social networks. Gives you vital information, gives you support, help you propel for a better future. But platform work, sometimes, and especially if you have built a community around other platform workers, it may not be too easy.
Dr. Mathews, thank you very much for talking to us this evening. Dr. Mathew Mathews, the head of the IPS Social Lab at the Institute of Policy Studies.